How's she going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. It's so nice when you drop by. It always makes the day brighter. Thanks a lot. Today's project is I bought myself a used MTD Gold lawn tractor. I'm doing some maintenance on the tractor, getting it ready for be a daily use machine. And one of the problems I was having was the tires are flat on it. So I worked all day yesterday trying to get the bead off the wheel. You know how tubeless tires, the beads lock onto the rim? I couldn't get it off. I was at it with screwdrivers and hammers and an axe and oh, you name it. Couldn't get it off. So today's project is getting that tire off the bead on the wheel, on the rim. And how am I going to do that, you ask? I'm going to make myself a bead breaker. Let's go do it. So the front tire on the lawn, on my new little lawn tractor there, new to me, it's a tubeless tire and it leaks. So I've got the valve stem out, but I still can't break the tire down off the bead. So what I want to do is I want to try and make a bead breaking tool. I'm going to make it out of wood. I'm not sure how good it's going to work. But anyway, here's my thought. I'm going to start with a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, right? And then I've got a piece of, this is just scrap wood, right? 2 inches by 3 inches. I'd like to maybe cut a dado around the edge of it so that I can cut a notch then in my plywood and slide that in there so that it will lock good on the plywood, because I'm going to be putting some forces on it and it'll be pulling up on this, so I don't want that to pull off the plywood. So try to cut a little dado around there and set that in place. And then what I can do is I can set my tire then in front of it, and then I've got a big long piece here of old scrap piece of wood that I had, and I'm going to pivot that on here and put another arm down here with hopefully a broad enough surface so I can get it right in here, and then I can just take this and pull down on it, maybe show you this way, pull down on it to act as the lever to force that bead down and break. So that's the plan. Let's hope it all works, okay? So say an extra prayer for me. So what I've done is I've measured up 1 inch from the bottom of this piece, and I've marked some lines around here. So all I want to do is cut 3/4 inch dado, about, I don't know, 1/4 inch deep, 3/8 inch deep maybe, and then I'll cut a notch in my plywood so I can slip that in there and lock it in good. So now that I have my dados around there, I need to cut a notch in here so that that will slide in there, right? So I'm going to start just by ripping up the sides there. I'm going to freehand that. Alright, so rather than cut this or try to cut it with a chisel, I thought maybe I'd come over here in the bandsaw and try and cut it out there. So that's a lot better than hacking at it with a chisel, eh? Okay, now see if our measurements were okay. Yeah, see, that's what I want, is that to fit in there nice and tight. So now I'll just get a piece of 1 inch stock to sit under the front here just to balance it. Something like this piece of veranda flooring. So now what I need to work on is I need to make the pivot up here. So I've got this big long piece of wood, and I want to get a long piece, but I didn't want to use a good piece of 2x4, so I had this old piece kicking around, and I thought this would make a great lever. I'm going to put a carriage bolt through there so that it'll pivot, and with the long lever on it I should get good force to press down and break that bead. Okay, we're set up here with a 3/8 spade bit. I'm going to drill a hole through my upright piece and then through my lever. Now my carriage bolt can go through here and through there. Take a little bit of pounding because it's tight, but we can get her. Okay, so we're going to do a little assembly here. We're going to slide that in there. Put my spacer under the front of it. And then my tire is going to go on here. So now we need to get a measurement from here down to the bead. So I don't know, I think about here maybe. Somewhere's around there. And well, let's just drill a hole there and see how we make out. Alright, I just finished drilling that hole in there. So we put this back on here. So now I need to get an arm down here, and that arm needs to be about, I don't know, 9 inches long. Here's my little arm that I just cut. That's just cut out of 3/4 inch plywood. So I have a carriage bolt that goes through that, and then it'll go through there. So now I need to make some sort of a plate to go around there. Now I cut the bottom of that round, but I see I'm going to have to cut that off because I like to cut that kind of straight. But I need to make a piece to go on the bottom of my foot that'll match the circumference of this wheel. So I have a scrap piece of plywood, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut a half moon out of that and leave it, I don't know, 4 inches long or something. Alright, now what I want to do is attach this curved part to the bottom of my intermediate lever. And I've drilled a couple of pilot holes in here, but I want to make sure I get the pilot holes into my plywood so that the plywood doesn't split. So I'm just going to line that up there as close as I can get it. I have a couple of nails here. And I'm just going to tap these nails in to get a spot to drill my pilot holes. And I cut this little piece on a bit of an angle. It's not square, as you can see. So I want the point to slope down towards the front of the machine, towards the rim. I think I do anyway. I'm going to try it that way first off and see how I make out. So we're just going to get these screws put in here, and I'm not putting any glue or anything on this because there's only going to be downward force on this, right? No pulling or sideways force. Alright, so the X goes towards the front, so that should go in there about like that. Alright, let's go assemble it. I'm just going to pound that carriage bolt into the wood. That'll seat that. I don't think I'm going to need anything in here. I'm going to put a couple of screws just to hold this front foot on. I have my carriage bolt in there, so I'm going to put a washer in here. And then I'm going to put my lever arm on here. Then I'll put another washer on here. Okay. This carriage bolt's a little too long, but better too long than too short. I don't think that needs to be singing tight, that just needs to be snug. Okay, next step, we're going to put our little intermediate lever on here. So once again, put my carriage bolt through here, tap that in place, and then I have a washer to go on here. And then I put this on here, and then another washer probably, just because I have it. That just barely fits, and then a nut. And again, that doesn't have to be singing tight. So there you have it. And then we're going to lift this up. We're going to put our wheel in here. And then we're going to set this down on there and try to break the bead. You think it'll work? Let's go find out. Well, hey, we can do it right here on the saw. Okay, the problem I'm having is it's lifting up at the back. So I tried another version, so this is Bead Breaker version 2.0. Anyways, I put this veranda flooring right through to the end here, so that hopefully it'll hold better at this end. Wish me luck. I hear something cracking. You know what? I think it worked. So that one's off the bead. There you go, boys, a bead breaker. So I'm going to try my bead breaker again, but this is one of the back tires. In this one, it's a 20 by 8 by 8. So we're going to try and break this down. It's a tubeless tire as well. So we're going to take the valve stem out. I guess most of the air's out of that. So now this tire is a lot thicker through here, so I'm not sure. I hope my bead breaker is going to fit it. Get it as close to the rim as I can, lined up here. I think that might be alright. As long as it doesn't hit the rim on the way down. Too close. There we go. Oh, look at that. It come off pretty easy. Let's do this side. There. Boys, oh boys, that works pretty good. Bead breaker. You gotta have one in your shop. Bead breaker 3.0. Works great. I love it. Who'd have thunk it, eh? Just shows to go you that if you have a need, you can put your head down and come up with a solution. Here I was in the shop. How am I going to break these beads down? I had nothing to break them down with. I was whacking it with an axe and a hammer, screwdrivers, everything. I was going to hurt myself, probably damage the tire. So I just stopped for a little bit and said, hey, I remember what a bead breaker looks like when I saw one in the garage. I can make one of those. So I did. Now it's only made out of wood, so it's not great beefy. I wouldn't want to earn my living with it, but it'll break a bead. That's the main thing. So that just, you know, if you got a need, chances are you can resolve it, and there you go. So thanks for watching. I sure appreciate it. Hey, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you come back often. For my regular viewers, I hope to see you next time as well. Stay safe, everyone. Stay healthy. Stay sound. We'll talk to you soon.